welcome to MotoTribe. I'm Laura Kraft.
Anna Rigby.
Emily Prince.
Sarah Merrell.
And we are MotoTribe. Today, we're here to talk about friendship. In particular, women, riders, friendship. Do they go together? You think about riding as a very competitive sport. Yet, the four of us were really bonded in our friendship. So, some of you may be asking, how did we overcome that barrier of competitiveness to become really good friends? So I think we have a lot of stories around it. We're supporting each other on social media. We support each other in our, motorcycle endeavors of becoming better riders. We're not as competitive about who's the fastest. We're competitive about, is everyone having fun? And so I find that to be pretty unique in terms of our friendship. And, actually this came off of a conversation that me and Anna were having the other week of, we see a lot of people not supporting each other. And, we were like, how did we get to the place where, Anna shares a story with me and I'm like, oh my God, that's amazing. That's amazing. You got that. So, I'm going to turn it to Anna just to share some of her thoughts.
Yeah, so I'm actually going to briefly share the story that I shared with Laura. And it kind of stems back to when I started my social media account. I've been on Instagram now for 10, almost 11 years. And women motorcycling was not a thing. Biker chicks, whatever you want to call it. It was kind of not as big as it is now, of course. And there was a lot of almost competition on social media. And I don't know if it stems from the male testosterone, just of it being, inspired that it's a male sport. And maybe women feel that we have to show ourselves in it and kind of prove something about ourselves in it. But I don't know where it came from, but there's always been this weirdness about it. And I had a personal experience that, caused me to really grow up over the years. Back 10, 11 years ago, I was pretty jealous person. And I wasn't really conscious of it. If I saw someone doing better than me or they had something better, I was like, well, why am I not doing that? Why am I not getting that attention? And I didn't realize until later that was just a really nasty trait. And the whole point of this is that it took me a few years to learn this, but now that I've learned it, it's changed my whole way of life and of thinking, and is probably why I get along with so many women and men alike now as well. But the whole point is that just because I am happy for someone else's successes and I wish them well and I encourage them and I see them succeed and I'm happy for that, does not diminish any of my own successes or happiness. And learning that was huge, because up until then, I didn't realize that. It made me a really bitter and unhappy person. And it's funny, it's like a lot of people, when they meet me now, they're like, you're always so happy. And I'm like, well, I think that's why I genuinely try to be really positive. And it's not a naivety or, kind of an uneducated way or anything. I truly believe I want to see the best in people for people, because when you succeed, it makes me happy too. And when you let that guide you, I mean, it's natural then, I don't know if that makes much sense to you guys, but I feel a strong bond with you ladies because I truly want the best for you.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I think
I know, I'm glad that. I know.
Siri, break the room.
It's going to be one of those episodes where people get to see how much we actually really care about each other. And it's the truth, because I get so excited when, I see interviews succeed and whatever you're looking to succeed in, it makes me happy. It makes me, feel joy that, you may say, hey, I really want to go after this. And you work really hard at it, and then you're able to succeed at it. I'm like, oh my God, that's amazing. You were able to accomplish it. So I don't know. I think it's a unique trait in ways to kind of step aside and see others and their greatness, and it doesn't diminish your own greatness, because I think we all are different, and we were talking about that earlier. We're all different and unique, and so like what we're looking to achieve is slightly different. So I don't find it like a competition in any means.
Yeah. And I feel like we can have those moments where, for instance, when Anna and I were on track at Little Tally running in the rain and passing each other back and forth, it's like, I passed her and she was like, oh, hell no. And then she went and passed me and then like took off, and then I was trying to keep up with her. And so, and there's those moments, and like with Emily on her C when we were doing the 129 loop, and she's like passing me on the straight, and I'm like doing everything I can to keep up. And, Laura, you were amazing at that VAR track day that we were at, and following you on like the chair at Hala. And so I feel like we all have those moments where we can be competitive, but it's in a healthy way. I think like, it's a very healthy competition. And then as soon as we get off the track or off the road, we're congratulating each other and we're proud of each other.
Always. And it's because you guys inspire. Like when you passed me, and I was like, oh hell no. Like you lit a fire under my ass, but in a very healthy way. I was like, man, I was like, all right, well, and it's great too, because like I've learned so much about riding from you. So when you did that, you were teaching me again and encouraging me in your own way. And I love that.
Well, and it's vice versa, because I would never be where I'm at track days without having you and Laura too. The VIR track day that I did, gosh, what was that, Laura? 2018. That was my first time back at the track after a long hiatus. And then Anna, your enthusiasm with track days helped inspire my enthusiasm and got me out there. And so that's been just so helpful to me. And then Emily, watching you killing it at track days and putting in all that hard work, that's inspiring too. And so I do feel like we all inspire each other in different ways.
We inspire and we push each other. Like, I think that's what it is. It's like, I feel competitive with you because I want to kick your ass on track. I do, but at the same time, if you make a pass on me, I'm like, damn, that was nice. Like I'm excited because I'm like, hell yeah, girl, get it. And then I'm like, I'm gonna come get you again. Like it pushes you to like, there's difference in being competitive and it being like competition. I don't know.
It makes us want to bring the best out of ourselves. We're like, oh, like you're bringing your A game. That means I've got to bring my A game. So I think it almost makes us level up and push ourselves to that next level. So it is that healthy competition. Because I wouldn't. We're like, oh yeah, go ahead. Go in front of us. And, I think when we're on the road, sure, we do that sometimes, but if we're on the track and trying to go.
And Laura, that's a great point about leveling each other up, because honestly, I think that's what makes us good friends, because we all want to be the best that we can be. And if we were all just not serious about our riding and we weren't doing our best and didn't really care, then we wouldn't be pushing each other.
It's true.
Yeah. And I think it also, like for me too, I've noticed I've learned my limits, or not even so much my limits, but what I want those limits to be. So, for example, you, Emily, you came into my life just barely 3 years ago.
Not even.
You
man. It hasn't even been 2 years.
Well, your progress has been phenomenal. And I'm going to admit, I feel like almost anyone that would have met you and seen where you started and where you are now in this short distance should be totally jealous of you. Like you got to your pace, it took me what, 7 years maybe to get to where you got in a year. And I should be so jealous of you, but I can't be. I'm just amazed and I'm happy for you. And I'm so excited and happy that instead of being competitive with you, I just want to ride with you. And you know what? You destroy me on the street right now. And I had to realize that, holy shit, it's not even like, it made me realize that, you know what, I'm not wanting to go there. She does, and she takes it, and I'm okay with that. Where before, you know, and I think like guys, you know how guys are, they'd be like, oh,
yeah.
hell no.
Oh,
like,
oh hell no.
they just keep one upping it. But there is no one upping here. I know my limits. I know what I'm willing to do and what I'm not willing to do. And that's okay. And instead of getting like butthurt about it, I'm cool with that. I don't know why. I don't know if that's a maturity thing that I've learned over time, because I'm pretty sure at 30, I wouldn't have reacted this chill about it.
Well, Anna, I would just like to point out that you have the experience on street riding and you've made your mistakes and learned from them. So when you see me go blazing past and you're like, oh yeah, I'm not going full send like that, guess who just crashed? No, I mean, there are things you learn with experience, and I guarantee you, I will be toning it down a little bit in the future. You know, it's definitely you have to find that limit, and at some point you go, okay, there's the limit. Now I got to back it off, because
true.
So, you know, these things you learn. But I mean, going back to that, like, I don't know, when I first started riding and getting into motorcycling and learning who's who and whatever, like I was saying earlier, Anna, I didn't even know who you were when I met you. Like, I had seen your picture on Doodle's page and I saw you at the gym, and my husband was actually like, hey, I think that's that chick that, like, she's Redspade something. And I'm sitting here on my phone in the gym going, like, looking you up, and I was like, no, that's her. And so I walked over and I was like, hey, do you ride? And you're like, yeah, I do. And I was like, cool, we should be friends.
I'm doing the hamstring curl actually, and look up at her.
I know, you're like, hey. Ass up, face down. You're like, what does this girl want? And I was like, you know, and it just started this conversation that literally has just not stopped. I mean, from that day, I think I hit you up on Instagram. We started messaging and we have not stopped talking since. And I mean, I would not be anywhere near where I am today, like nowhere near. I guarantee you, if I had not met you and therefore met Laura, therefore met Sarah, like the three of you have absolutely motivated me, inspired me, pushed me to like do things I never thought that I would ever want to even do. And, you know, I'm like, I'm just so grateful for your friendship and for the fact that you're not the catty competitive people. Like, I wanted to not like you guys. You guys are beautiful and you're successful and you're so good at what you do. And it's like the petty immature me is like, oh yeah, they're like all popular and they must be bitches, you know, but like I get to know you and I'm like, oh my God, they are where they are because they're good people, because they are motivated, because they work hard. And that inspires me to be a good person, to work hard, to like want to be more, because I'm like, there's not competition. You guys have been so welcoming and loving and supportive to me that it makes me just want to be a good person too. And so I love you.
All right, I need a tissue. I need to blow my nose.
But it is like all of what you're saying is so true, because you know, I think about like new people, and I will say that I have a guard up when I meet new people. I just don't know their intentions. Right. But I think, you know, when I met Anna, I did have my guard up when I met Anna. You know, I'm like, well, who is this person? And then, you know, it's like once we started talking and I started understanding that she only wanted the best for me. And I'm like, well, I really only want the best for you too. Like, and then it was like that commonality of that, okay, now I trust you. Like now friends, we build that bond. And I think that all of us have that. Like we've never once, I don't know, been had some sort of aggression against each other. Like we've really genuine and open. And I think
natural.
natural. That's what's built our bond. Because I would say I don't have this with everyone. And so
true.
How is it that I have this with you guys? And it's because I think like genuinely you want the best for me and I want the best for you.
Yeah. And I love how we celebrate everyone's wins. Like with our group message, it doesn't matter how small or how silly the win is. We all get so excited with like every bit of good news, you know, like I'm so happy for all of you when anything good happens, you know, like it's
your win is my win because you're part of my life, and whatever enriches your life enriches mine. So, you know, when you start looking at things like that and looking at people in your life like that, it really changes things, you know, so.
It really ends up feeling like family to me. And I think that all of us just have each other's backs on a really high level. And it's been awesome to be able to go to a track day, and my husband's not able to come with me, and Anna's husband Steve kind of plays pit crew for both of us. And
he's my second husband, backup husband.
Yeah, and he's been helpful with that. And I love having all of you come and stay with us, and you know, have just help each other out. And I love that aspect, and it really does end up feeling like family. And I do hope that other people within the community and other women, I hope they can see this and want to have the same thing, and to understand about what you can have when you can kind of set aside things like jealousy or not feeling enough. And I think we all have those moments of insecurity. But I think one of the great things is sometimes when we're having that, that's where our friends come in, and we can have that conversation and we build each other up.
Yeah, you know, insecurities are human nature. Do I have bad days and think silly things? Yes, and I berate myself for them because I'm human.
Talk you out of it.
Exactly. None of us are perfect.
You're crazy, girl.
I love that, because you're also a soundboard for me. When I am struggling with something, I come to you, you know, with an open heart and actually wanting help from you, not just to build me up or get a positive opinion or positive feedback, but I want you to tell me the truth, you know, and I feel like you would. I know Laura and I, you know, we go back very far, you know, now. And yeah, I remember, you know, how our friendship started forming. And I remember both of us dropping our guards down and opening up to each other. And oh my God, I totally remember when like you started sharing things with me, and I was like, oh, she like trusts me. She likes me. And, you know, and I told her, I was like, oh my God, you're like my first best friend in a very long time that I've developed now as an adult and not a child, because, you know, we all have friends from our childhood, but those friendships stem from different reasons, different lifetimes, you know, and
not because of your current person. Like
right. And I feel as an adult, when you get set in your ways and you learn to become a certain way, it's harder to make friends, and it's harder to be open to people, you know, like you're kind of got your guard up because, well, you know, we've all been hurt a lot. You know, everyone's gone through that, but you can't close yourself off, because life isn't worth living alone. I mean, and that goes, you know, for any kind of companionship. And I don't know if it's just me or if you ladies have experienced this as well, but I haven't had really any close female friends like my entire like adult life, from like high school through college.
So gonna say that. Yep.
Like I never had it like Laura opened that gateway for me, and then meeting you two, like I just like instantly just went towards you guys like a moth to light. I don't know if it's because maybe thanks to motorcycling, like we, you know, it's a dangerous sport, like we've been through some shit together. Maybe it's that's the gateway
why, drug.
Yeah.
Well, that's actually that's probably a good point too, because I think sometimes the situations that really help you gel are being in situations together that are hard. And like I know, for example, I'll never forget that track day, my first time at Road Atlanta. And, and I went there like the first session, and I was scared out of my mind. I was like, what the hell is going on with this track? And it did not, I felt completely out of my element. I felt awful. And I came in and I was just like ready to have a meltdown, and just told Anna, I was like, I think I need to bump down the novice because I don't know what I'm doing out here, and I'm scared and whatever. And it took, and she, and Anna, like, you could have just been like, oh yeah, that's awful, whatever, but you didn't. Instead, you were like, no, you don't need to bump down the novice. Like, you need to stay out there. You need to work with a coach, like get with a coach and work with one. And you need to be with people who are faster so that you'll improve. And it was great advice. It was really good advice.
And I know you too. I've ridden with you long enough. I know your skill sets. I know your capabilities. And I also know that Road Atlanta is a scary track. It's very blind. It's very fast. Yeah, it's very intimidating. And unfortunately, if I wasn't in an advanced group, I would have instantly, taken you under my wing. But so next best thing, let's go talk to a coach and figure out what it is that you're struggling with. Because there was no doubt in my mind. I'm like, no, I believe in you. You can get through this.
That's the support that you have to have, like the encouragement and the support. And I think that's so important when we're doing something that is dangerous. I mean, it is. It's scary. It's dangerous. And if you don't have that support system around you, like you feel like you're alone out there, it's much scarier. And, like I said, I would not be doing what I'm doing if I did not have you guys. And I'm very grateful for that. And like you, Anna, I did not find my group. I mean, I'm 38, about to be 39, had to think about it. I didn't find a close group of friends until I was 37, like that. It took me a while, but I'm just very glad that I did. And it's so worth the wait. So I'm just feel very blessed to have you guys.
Yeah, I think it's partly because we spend so much time together. You think about riding. It's not like, oh, let's just go ride to go eat out somewhere. We're like gonna go ride to the mountains. It's gonna be hours, or we're gonna go to the track together.
Whole weekends together.
We're gonna go to the Dragon and ride all weekend. We're gonna stay at Sarah's house. And so, we have all these moments together of hours. It's like you can, I guess, put on a show for a few minutes, but no, we're spending hours and days together.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and like big adventures too. Like we'll be stuck, like that time we were stuck on the Dragon in a torrential storm, and Emily gets like, struck in the head by a tree limb, and then Laura and I were up on the Cherahela where the fog was like so dense we couldn't even be like 4 feet in front of it. I mean, we've had some real adventures.
Like dying at what is it? At Fall River Falls, where we were for hours. Like, I mean, you go when you motorcycle, you never know what's going to happen. I will say, having your tribe with you is like that will save you. It saves a bad experience. Like if these things, and I was with people I didn't enjoy being with, it would be like, oh my God, this was the worst day ever. But you know what? We tell the stories and we laugh our asses off because it was actually fun. Things broke.
That's so true.
Miserable, but we had fun because we had each other.
We were like laughing as we poured all the rain out of our riding boots.
Yeah. And Laura, you came with me, and hauled my bike out, so it's always great. So we can divvy it up, and help each other. And I love that.
We all share the weight.
I'd be without you guys.
I know.
Yeah, I love too that we're definitely a really close group, and we ride really well together. We ride together all the time. But I love how when we go to events together, like the Ladies' Day at Little Tally, how we get to meet a lot of other people too. And that's been awesome. And actually, Anna, you're the one who got me to go to that first Ladies Day Little Tally, and I'm so glad I did, because it's enabled me through that event to meet so many other women riders. And then, we were kind of talking about social media earlier, and how in a lot of ways we all kind of first connected through social media in a way. And actually, with all the negatives that social media has, one of the positives is that it does connect you with people. And I feel like I've gotten to meet so many women.
With that, ladies, any final thoughts, words?
I love y'all.
I love all of you.
I know, I'm so grateful to have you guys in my life, and to go, have motorcycle adventures and have tons and tons of fun. It wouldn't be the same without you.
Ladies, this is the life.
I know.
It is.
I'm very blessed.
All right.
Yes.
With that, MotoTribe out.
Mwah.